September 1877. A village in the Deccan Plateau of southern India. A man walks 4 miles to a relief camp, sits down at the gate, and is handed his daily wage for a day of breaking stone, 450 grams of grain.
This is the story of the deadliest weather event in recorded history. It does not begin with a storm. It begins with absence. For most of 1876, the monsoon that feeds half the planet simply does not arrive.
The cause is sitting in the Pacific Ocean. Every few years, the trade winds that push warm surface water toward Asia weaken. The warm water slouches back east. The Pacific releases an enormous pulp of stored heat into the atmosphere, and the planet's weather reorganizes itself around that heat. Scientists now call this El Niño.
In 1877, India is the jewel of the British Empire. It is also in the middle of a famine, and grain is leaving the country by ship. Record quantities of wheat are being exported to England in the exact months that Indians are starving. A relief works program is created, but to qualify, a starving person must walk to a camp, perform hard physical labor, and receives in return a ration of about 450 grams of grain a day. Men perform a full day of labor and lose weight until they die. While millions go hungry, the administration holds a week-long banquet in Delhi to crown Queen Victoria, Empress of India. 68,000 guests, one of the most lavish feasts in history. Outside the gates, the toll climbs. Outside the gates, the toll climbs. This is the pattern wherever the drought lands. The weather creates the shortage. The government turns the shortage into a catastrophe. Move east to northern China. The drought settles in and stays for years. The Qing dynasty actually wants to help. It has an ancient system for this. State granaries, a relief bureaucracy, but the system is hollow. War and a drained treasury have left the granaries empty and the canals broken. The roads are too poor to move food fast enough. The shortage there reaches a scale almost impossible to count.
The granaries empty and the canals broken. The roads are too poor to move food fast enough.
Now Brazil. In the northeast, the rains fail, and the same machine starts running. The drought drives waves of people towards the coast. Local elites see the migration as a threat. Aid money is siphoned off by officials who inflate prices and pocket the difference. The disaster becomes a business. 3 continents, 3 completely different governments, the same outcome. A natural event arrived, and in each place the people in charge made choices that turned a hard year into something far worse.
The El Niño set the stage. The decisions filled it. For a long time, nobody connected these events. They were studied as separate national tragedies.
It took until the late 20th century for researchers to lay the climate data over the records and see the obvious thing. It was one event, one pulse of heat from one ocean, reorganizing weather on opposite sides of the planet in the same 18 months.
The man who assembled this picture made an uncomfortable claim. The modern divide between rich nations and poor ones was not ancient or natural. It was forged here, when functioning societies were stripped of their defenses against the weather and then blamed for the result. The drought was the trigger. Empire was the gun.
So why does this matter now, a century and a half later? Because the ocean does this on a schedule. El Niño fires every few years. Most of the time, the modern world absorbs it. But the conditions that made 1878 lethal were never really about the weather. They were about who controls food when food runs short, and whether the systems built to protect people actually do. And right now, in the Pacific, the water is warming again. Forecasters are watching an El Niño build faster than the models predicted, with a real chance of reaching a strength touched only once before. The last time was 1877.
The drought is not the disaster. It never was. The drought is only the test. About to the test. We are about to be tested again.